Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Tour de France 2020 Pro Team Career Mode with the TIJ Racing Team. Today we continue the Tour de France. We start today's adventure at stage number 12. We are well over the halfway stage of the Tour de France now, and I have to say that it is going very well for us in the polka dot and green jerseys. Now, in the last episode, the green jersey was the main topic because it was two fairly flat stages, as you can see. Stage 10 and Stage 11. Only one mounting point, but a lot of sprinters' points to play for. And Ben Swift did a fantastic job of recouping some points on Ewan, who was way ahead of him. Remember, he was about 80 points ahead of Ben Swift, and Ben Swift has now took the green jersey by 14 points. So a fantastic effort to recover. But of course, it's not over yet. In the mountains jersey, we are absolutely way out ahead. I can't see anybody catching Gegenhardt, but we're still going to push to try and get some points in the mountains and getting some points as well for the team and individual pro cycling rankings. I mean, I can't believe Chris Lawless is still in the top 10 because he's not done anything, to be quite honest, in this Tour de France. But I don't know how many points there are for the mountain classification if you win it. Maybe there's 100, I'm not sure about that. But if there is, it'll propel Gegenhardt right up the rankings. But it looks like it's going to be Jakob Fuglsang who wins the yellow jersey at Canter and will probably win the individual pro cycling rankings. So today we move into the next bunch of stages. I don't know which stage we're going to do today. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm going to have a quick look now. Obviously we'll do stage number 12, which is an interesting stage. It doesn't really kick off till halfway in. Stage number 13. We might well do stage 12 and 13. And I think we will definitely do those two stages. And then based off time, we might be able to get stage 14 in. But we'll see. Again, it might be too long of a video to get stage 14 in. But I'm just concerned that stage 15 is a huge one. But actually, on reflection, there's two first-class climbs, a highest-class climb, and that's about it. So it might well be that we do stages 12 and 13 today, and then 14 and 15 on Tuesday. But a few third-class climbs, a second-class climb, and a fourth-class climb. So a good chance to eat away and get some points in the mountains. But to be fair, we're not going to put a rider in the breakaway. I don't see the point. Because it doesn't really kick off till after halfway in, so it'd be too much of a demand from one of our guys to chuck him in the breakaway. And then the 13th stage is a little bit easier, not as many climbs, a few sprints, but again, plenty of opportunities to get points. And of course, now we've got two jerseys, plenty of chances to strengthen our lead in both of those jerseys. So here we go then, stage number 12 of the Tour de France.
Hello, cycling fans everywhere. With almost 220 kilometres in the saddle, and a finish over uneven terrain, this stage should throw up an interesting fight for victory.
Well, on reflection, we are going to go in the breakaway, but choose one of our smaller guys, not one who's going to fight for any of the classifications. We'll give Bjerg a go in the breakaway today. I don't see any harm. Get everyone to set a minimum tempo. Meduas, Gegenhardt, Van Baal, Swift and Bjerg looking pretty good. Lawless, Marder, particularly Quintana starting to struggle now, so Quintana might not make it to the end of the tour. I wish our teammate had moved out of the way, by the way. We were getting morphed into the fence. Luckily, we've got a bit more room so we can squeeze around the outside. But quite a long stage today, actually. But it's not until the sort of second half of the stage that things really start to hot up. So there might not be an early breakaway. I think we will just react to whatever happens. You can see that I think it's actually us who are going for it for some reason. Yeah, plenty of climbing in the last 50 kilometres. There we go. Cosnefroy has gone in the breakaway. Again, I was saying last night to my good friend Captain Goodspeed that actually in this Tour de... Oh, my controller batteries are low. Really? Christ, these don't last any time these days. But I was saying to him that there's nobody who's really gone in the breakaway who's going for the mountains classification. That's why this... You know, we've worked very hard, but you can see that the 5 guys that have gone in today's breakaway have got absolutely nothing in the mountains classification. And obviously I accept that that's not the only reason that guys break away, but I just don't get it. There's nobody who's, apart from the general classification favourites, and to win the yellow jersey they need some mountain points anyway, so the two come hand in hand. But again, I'm absolutely astonished that nobody's really gone for this mountains jersey, but that's not discrediting the good job we've done. So the breakaway has developed quite a bit of a gap. To be quite honest, the breakaway was a long way further forward than this, about 4 minutes ahead, but the peloton has started to claw back some of that time. It's been a very uneventful first 90 kilometres here. We have got a climb, and I believe that there are a few points available in the pro cycling ranking as well for winning the mountain passes. So possibly there is some incentive there for some of these guys to get a few points for the pro cycling rankings, I don't know. I mean, Kelderman and Maz have scored. I mean, especially Kelderman in the Century Club's looking pretty good for the pro cycling rankings. But we're a little bit too far off these guys for comfort. But it's okay now. We've regained that time. Again, if there's a few points to fight for, I don't see why we shouldn't. But a very uneventful stage, particularly at the start. I think it's going to be an uneventful one throughout. I don't think, especially with this lead that this breakaway's got, I can't see the peloton putting up too much of a fight. But I do think the peloton will come back at the end. But I don't think we're going to score any points here. No, that's a shame. But we know Bjerg isn't the best mountain rider. He's a young rider, still got a bit to learn. And as I said prior, you can't win them all. So no points there. Another third-class climb. We might as well just look at this one while we're here, rather than cutting back. You can see we've got a big gap now to the peloton than we had before. There are only 3 of us in this group now, so we might as well go for it a bit here. Brambilla seems to have slowed down, maybe struggling a little bit. We'll just wait till the last half a kilometre. Okay, go. We didn't have much red energy in the locker last time out, that's why we lost out. Might struggle here as well. Cosnefroy is very quick, but we do get 1 point with Bjerg. If you remember, I mean, it seems a long time ago now we had that first stage of this tour, but Bjerg was actually the man who had the polka dot jersey for one stage, believe it or not. I mean, Quintana is really starting to struggle now. It's a shame to see, but I think that perhaps picking those guys for the Criterium de Dauphine wasn't the smartest idea. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. We've got a good team of riders, a good strong team, and they're seeing us well. I mean, we've got a good 4 strong team at the front, and Bjerg is doing a good job in the breakaway, to be fair to him. So 87 kilometres to go. We've got a sprint. I mean, to be honest, no real point looking at that from the top 3. We will go back to Ben Swift for that sprint. Again, we might as well stay on board here rather than cutting away. But some good chance again to increase our lead, so I couldn't really give a toss about how Bjerg gets on because it's not important for the overall classification. But 11 points available here. It looks like Kelderman's coming away from the pack, so there's a chance to... Sorry, coming back into the pack, so there's a chance maybe to get a few more points. And I think it might be good to try out tried and tested tactical, though that's a little bit tricky when you're coming all around corners. And of course, that tactic is to go away, get a bit of a lead, separate the peloton, which seems to have happened. Kelderman is starting to struggle now, so looks like he might struggle. We might as well just tell... I know it's a bit late now, but we might as well tell... Oh, I've told him to take his blue gel. That was not what I meant, but I guess at this stage it doesn't really harm much. Where did he finish? I bet he gets third. Oh, no, second. Well, fair play to him, fair play to him. Bjerg looks like he's going to tuck all his blue gel now, which isn't really what we wanted him to do, but again, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. It's not the most demanding of stages. So there's a little group who's broken away here. You can see that Ewan is not in that group, so that's interesting, but we have got Trontan in that group. Just got to go for it as quick as we can. There's nothing else we can do here. Running out of energy slightly, so we're going to have to ramp down on the pace. Not the best, though, there, to be honest. Only 7th, but crucially, we beat the closest man behind us, which is Ewan, so that's no problem. I don't even think Ewan's going to get into the points here. No, Ewan doesn't get anything. I mean, Lawless gets a point, credit to him, good for him. But not the best for us there, but, you know, you can't win them all, so I've got no problem with that. And I think that the peloton will catch up in the end. You can see Maz is not persisting now, and I think if Cosnefroy leaves us as well. I feel like he might have been the man, by the way, in the first stage of the Tour de France. I can't remember. I feel like he was the one in the first stage who joined us in that little breakaway. I can't remember now, but Maz will join the peloton soon enough. Got a few climbs before the end, but I think it'll just be one where the peloton's all together. And again, we're not going to push too much for the likes of Gegenhardt and Medus just for the sake of a point or two. So really all we're focused on is that final sprint of the day. Well, that all escalated quickly. We fast-forwarded quite a bit. I mean, quite funnily enough, it's Ben Swift who's won the climb. But it seems things seem to have exploded a little bit. I don't know who won that first 4th class climb, but it just seemed to all explode in a matter of a few seconds there. So we've got Swift, Van Baarle and Gegenhardt in the main group. Medus has fallen back a bit. Marder is struggling. So is Lawless, Quintana and Bjerg. Not too fussed about that, but just that all seemed to happen in a matter of seconds. There was an attack, which I wasn't expecting, and it seems to have all gone a bit mad. I think that the likes of Meduas will probably catch up to the main group, so not much of a concern there. But in a stage where I thought, I know there are a few climbs, etc., so there was certainly a chance. But, you know, I wasn't expecting it to get as drawn out as this, so that's a bit of a surprise. I think, like I said, that Meduas will probably catch up. But, well, Ben Swift takes some mountain points. He hadn't got any before, and, well, he's the man. He's the sprint man. He's the mountains man. He's an all-round legend. So this is the last climb of the day. You can see the peloton is back together with 56 riders now. I don't think we're going to get much here because it is a narrow road. So if we're going to push our way through, it's pretty much impossible to do so. There are some time bonuses at the top, so that's why I've gone on board with Gegenhardt. If we can get them, it would be great too. I don't think we will because we're not going to push through all of this group, I wouldn't have thought, in the next 3 kilometres. But we've certainly got a chance. You can see, I think it's the group at the front there. We are making our way through. And I know we're not necessarily going for the yellow jersey, but 8 seconds always helps. This is the toughest stage of the climb, so we might as well go for it here. You can see we have got up near the front now, and this would improve our lead even more and strengthen it on this jersey. You can see we're up with Roglic. I think he will definitely go for this. Some of the big players, Roglic and Philippe, will try and get some points back on... sorry, not some points, but some time back on Fuglsang at the top. But this is where it gets pretty tough, so I'm going to really go for it here. Not too much, of course, just enough though. I think quite a few guys might well blow up. But this is a tough one. I think, is that... Oh no, it's Stibal, not a Philippe. And he's starting to struggle. He's blocked us a little bit in our way. And I think that quite a few will start to struggle as we get to the top here. Just got to get past this little bit and then it starts to level off. As you can see, over a 12% gradient here. This is tough, but we're moving forward to the front. Gegenhardt is just a massive legend, really. He's brilliant. And that is the end of the tough bit of the climb. So it seems we can press forward a bit now. We're at the front of the group, and that always helps. Not great when you hit the wall, though. But it looks like we've got a gap. Looks like we've got a gap. Nobody's persisting with us. We've got Meduas, Van Baarle, and we'll give Swift... Probably... We'll give Marder and Lawless their blue gel as well at this point. I think that Gegenhardt, Van Baarle and Meduas will be alright. I think it might be worth giving Van Baarle his red gel here. But it looks like that Gegenhardt's going to get an 8-second advantage at the top and another 5 points for the mountains classification. No point overexerting ourselves here, just nice and slow over the line. 5 points and an 8-second advantage. And, well, you know, we've got a potential. I don't think we'll do it because the peloton's only 15 odd seconds behind. But who knows? It could be a breakaway win for us here. It's all downhill from here. Hopefully not literally. Well, it is literally, I suppose, but not metaphorically, I hope not. But again, it's a bit of a chance. Why not? Let's see if we can get a breakaway win. Again, I can't see it, but we've got a chance. We might as well give it a go. Well, we're coming out very near to the end of the stage now. We've got Meduas and Gegenhardt in the front group. Ben Swift is starting to struggle slightly, but I'm not too worried about that because our opponents, the likes of Ewan and Trontan, aren't really going to be phased. I think it might be best to go for it with Meduas in terms of an attempt to beat a Philippe here. I think he's got it all worked out as a Philippe, to be honest, towards the finish. And all we'd really be looking for is a stage victory. So I'm not too concerned. I think a Philippe has got this bang on just right. And by the way, Gegenhardt was about 20 seconds out in front. But as the peloton started to close, I just thought, we might as well just let them catch up because they were going to catch up anyway. An interesting stage. Again, not the most exciting. I appreciate that. But not too bad at the same time. But it's a cracking achievement for our guys to finish in the front group. It really is. Gegenhardt and Meduas. I don't know what happened to Van Baarle. I think he's in the 6th group, so that's a bit disappointing. I say we'll go for it with Meduas. I mean, a Philippe's going to win the stage here, so again, kudos to him. But we'll go with about a half kilometre to go here as we turn the corner. We can't win the stage, but we'll take 3rd. No, we won't. We'll take 4th. Forward? We'll take 4th. And good stuff there from Meduas, getting a little bit of a mini breakaway at the finish. We have Fuglsang who finishes 4th there, and not a bad stage for us, really. Quintana, Armada, Lawless and Bierge really starting to struggle now. But again, a good stage. A few points for Gegenhardt at the end. Swift, I think, outscores most of the guys who are around him. So we're just holding on to those leads, and that's exactly what we need to do at this stage. That's absolutely fine with me. It all could go wrong, so the more that we can get a good lead at this stage, the less heartbreak there'll be if we make a mistake in the next few stages. But all the classifications stay the same, no surprise there. I don't know if Bernal was in that main group at the end. He's someone who's not featured as much as I was expecting him to in this Tour de France. Same goes for Roglic, really. But it's been an interesting one all the same. I think that it's a bit nullified now because the mountains classification we've got a real good stronghold on, which is brilliant for us, but not so much for the neutral. Fuglsang's got a really good hold on the yellow jersey. There's not really much competition, close competition anyway. Maybe the green jersey is the one you're looking at for that. Maduas actually ends up 4th, so it's Fuglsang 5th. Gegenhardt 16th, he did well there. Best climber classification, again, another 5 points for Gegenhardt, very solid. Points classification, again, Swift got 9. None of the big boys for the green jersey got a massive amount of points. I mean, 11 for Trontan. It swings and roundabouts, so I'm not really concerned. As I said, though, Bernal is the next challenger to Fuglsang, and he's 3 minutes back. Roglic a further 2 minutes back. I think, really, it's all over for anybody but Fuglsang. But Gegenhardt gains a place up to 13th. Maduas gains 2. Van Baal loses out 3 places, unfortunately. But Fuglsang, Chavez and Roglic don't get any points in the climbing classification, so even if you add Fuglsang and Maduas' points up, there'd only be 1 point ahead of Gegenhardt. That shows how much of an advantage he's got. And Ben Swift extends his lead slightly. He's now 23 points ahead of Ewan at the top. Yeah, 45 points for us there. Very solid stuff. Gegenhardt with 5. Maduas with 40 because he finishes 4th in the stage. And yeah, really solid stuff. Maduas actually now moves ahead of Gegenhardt in the PCP. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And our guys recover well. Swift starting to struggle slightly, but you know, all the sprints are going to start to struggle, so not much of a concern. And for the last stage of the video, we move on to stage number 13. We're not going to go for it in the climbs. It's really all about that first, and hopefully, I don't see it, but just that first sprint as a real aim to try and do well today. And as you can see, we've now broken the 1,000 barrier in the PCR, and we are doing really well. Fantastic to see.
Hello everyone. With a final portion of irregular terrain and a finish at the top of a climb, there's no doubt that the punchers will be eyeing victory on this stage.
So here we go then for stage number, is it 14, 13? I feel like it's 13. I think it's 13, stage number 13. And I'm umming and ahhing between putting Van Baal in the breakaway, but I'm not going to bother because, you know, it's a big stage tomorrow. The only person I think I could think of maybe putting in the breakaway is Bierge again, but he's absolutely knackered, so we just can't put him in, and really it's only Maduas, Gegenhardt and Van Baal. We certainly want to save Maduas and Gegenhardt for tomorrow's stage, and I think the same goes for Van Baal as well. He could be a big resource for us, so we're not going to put him in the breakaway. There are a few objectives to retain the lead of the mountains classification. Well, that's absolutely fine. There's no chance we can't do that. Score at least 1 point in the best climber classification. Again, I can't see that. And then to be part of today's breakaway with Van Baal. Again, I just don't see the point. I just think that for the sake of 1, maybe 2 mountain points, it's really that risk versus reward. And there's far too much risk of Van Baal becoming absolutely knackered. So I think at this stage there's still plenty of time to go in the Tour de France, and yeah, it's probably too early to risk everything. I think the next stage is a big one, and I'd like to have all 3 of our main guys looking in good form. So that's why I'm going to not go in the breakaway in today's stage. Well, we're not ideally placed here, are we? That's one of the problems we've been in the peloton, but this is the first of 2 sprints of the day. The only one which we're realistically going to have a chance in, but I think we're just too far away. I mean, Ben Swift pretty much at the back here. We're not going to be able to get all of those positions in the next 3 kilometres. It's just impossible to make that much of a gain. So we might have to lose out on this one, hoping that the likes of Ewan won't be too great. I mean, we can try and get through, but Just a bit too little too late here, I think, unfortunately. We might as well go for it, though, because we have got a feed straight after this sprint, so there's no harm in trying, I guess. To maybe nick a point or two somewhere along the line. Might as well just go like a bat out of hell for it now. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a point or two. I mean, this would probably cause a crash in real life, but I don't care. We're looking good. Can we get a point or two? There we go, 11th. I'll take that. Ewan takes 11 points there, so very important to get into the points. Groenewegen with 10. Trontan with 6. Us with 5. So we only lose 6 to Ewan. But it was important, actually, in retrospect, to get back into the points because I think we're only 20 ahead of Ewan, so Ewan could have halved that gap. That could have been a big win for him, but no, we did well there. I'm happy with that. We'll take everybody's feed. Blue gel, blue gel. Oh, don't attack with Quintana, for Christ's sake. Take his blue gel. But yeah, it's just one of those now, really, with this Tour de France. It's not going to be one where there's too much action apart from the mountain stage because we're just trying to conserve our lead. Not to use too many resources. That's always important. We always want to make sure we've got those for the later stages. So, you know, we are going to hold back a bit. We're going to make a few decisions that maybe aren't made for entertainment purposes, but I think we're looking good now, especially for that mountains classification. We've just got to watch out with that points jersey because that's very close. Well, there is a chance to get some points here, just a point for second. I think we might well catch up to Vellens, to be honest, by the end here. But there are a lot of guys who are starting to struggle now, particularly those sprints. I think Swift's just about alright. I'd like to keep him there, so we'll take his blue gel at this point. I think the top three can survive without taking any gel. Again, it's all about conserving the energy till the end. But there is a objective to score a point with, yeah, what's his face? Maduas in the climber standing, so we might as well go for it here, try and get one. Or maybe two. And there's a bit of an advantage time-wise, even though it's not really going to help Maduas. But a lot of guys are going to fancy this. So Philippe's up with us. We've got Froome here. Van Baal's doing well. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can win the climb. Might be a bit too much to ask at this point, but no, we're doing okay. Maduas wins the climb. A really strong 2 points for him there. Swift's starting to struggle. Quintana, Bierge and Lawless are way down, but again, our top three haven't took any feed. 2 points for Maduas, so we reached that objective. The only one we're not going to reach today is for Van Baal to be in the breakaway, and I've got no problem with that. So 26 kilometres till the end. I think it is going to end in a mass sprint. You know, I'm not expecting anything more there, but we've got a slight lead with Evenepoel, but to be honest, I think that, yeah, we might as well just wait for the next group with Maduas and then move to the last sprint. And I don't think, because there's a bit of a climb at the end, I don't think that Swift's going to have much of a part to play. So we enter the last 7 kilometres then of today's stage. You can see there are 3 groups here. 14 have dropped off and then 84 behind. So this group will only get smaller. Roger Leake trying to make a bit of a move. I mean, it's not going to be enough to win in the yellow jersey at this point, but at least he's going for it. We will take our feed shortly with Gegenhardt, which is the man we're on board with, Maduas and Van Baal. Remember, we've not took the blue feed with those guys. We have took the blue feed with everyone else. So we'll take their red feeds as well. I'd love to win this stage. Again, that's something that if we were going to really scrutinise performance, that's what we haven't done enough. I'd love to have won a few more stages. I mean, Bierge's been dropped. Again, I'm not too fussed. I think Marder needs a red feed, so does Lawless. We'll leave it as late as we can, as always, with some of these guys. Probably look at 4 kilometres to give Gegenhardt, Maduas and Van Baal their blue feed. But yeah, it's all looking good at the moment. Yates is trying to get out here. A few guys are trying to get out. Again, we've got not a lot to lose. Again, we will recover nicely if it's not too demanding here, so I've got no problem with that. Give Maduas and Van Baal their blue gel. Same goes for Gegenhardt here, if it'll ever work. There we go.
Another 3 kilometres and it's the finish.
Oh, marvellous. Oh, it's not even working now. I hate it when the game does this. There we go, it's working. But obviously it's a bit late now. So we won't bother with the red gel for Gegenhardt, but he's still in contention. We haven't lost any time, which is always good. Yeah, Maduas and Van Baal a bit slow as well to take the feed, so we'll see how we go here. I mean, we're a bit further back than I'd like to be at this point. I know that for certain. I mean, Marder's here, bless him, so he's doing pretty well. Yeah, I think that Yates and whoever's up with him have got this sorted. I think we're a bit too far back with Gegenhardt. Where's Meduas? Is he better placed? Meduas is 24th. He looks a bit better. Don't want to go back to Gegenhardt again. I didn't mean to do that. Van Baal, where's he? He's 21st. I think Meduas is the best placed here, to be honest. So, let's see how we do. We haven't got much red gel, but I can't really take that at this point. This is a good opportunity if we can do it. I just can't see it, but we'll get Gegenhardt and Van Baal all to attack. See if we can't win the stage. That'd be a brilliant thing to do again. We haven't done that too much. Come on! Just not going to be able to get through that many guys, I don't think. No, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. It's Sagan who takes the stage, a name we haven't seen in this Tour de France whatsoever, really. He's usually a very good sprinter, but it just hasn't happened for him during this Tour de France. And, yeah, that's the only criticism I'd have of us. We haven't really won enough stages. So, that's not really a problem, though. It's not our main issue. We're doing very well. And in Tuesday's video, it's a big one with the mountain stage, but I think, to be honest, I don't know. I might condense this down now, because if we get any more episodes like today, I mean, I hope it's been an enjoyable episode, and it has been for me. I'm not saying it's not, but I think that when we get to this point, it's just chipping away at getting a few points here and there. I suppose the sprinting classification's important, but yeah, apart from that, the climbing classification's pretty much sewn up at this point, so no fears when it comes to that. And yeah, those classifications haven't changed for a while, to be honest, so that's the way it goes. Let's see where we did end. I think probably was top 10 with Meduas in the end there. Let's have a quick look when it decides to load. Did well though there, to be fair. There were just too many guys to get through, and we only really developed the strategy late on. So, but I mean, a stage victory isn't really what we're looking for. We're just looking to ensure our lead at the top of the two jerseys, and that's exactly what we've done so far. So Meduas finishes 8th. We'll definitely take that. In terms of the general classification, again, really, nothing moves. Carapaz moves at one space, whoop-de-doo. Best climber classification again. We're absolutely flying with Gegenhardt. And Swift's looking pretty good. 20 more points for us, that's good to see. Meduas and Gegenhardt recover well, but even they're starting to struggle slightly with Van Baal as well. But then Swift's looking okay. So let's have a quick look before we end today's video at what we've got towards the end of the Tour de France. So we've got this stage number 14. I just don't see the point of going for the climbs really on this one. So might as well be able to do the 2 sprints and not focus on the climbs. Then we've got stage 15. That's going to be a tough day and one where we could get some good points. Stage 16 is a mountain stage, but not really until the end. So we'll do, I think, 16 and 17 in one video. So that'll be Thursday's video. I think Saturday's video will definitely do stage number 18. And I think, to be honest with that, I might well do 19, 20 and 21 with that. Because by the time we get to 20, yes, 20 is a tough stage. But I think that we'll probably have the polka dot jersey in hand by then. We'll just have to see how we go. But I want to avoid having too many stages where it's just a few points there and a few points here. Because that's not really entertaining for you guys. And because we've done so well, it just puts us in this situation. It's a good problem to have, believe me, but it has put us in this situation. But in Tuesday's episode, we'll do stage number 14 and 15. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to leave a like down below. Comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for regular Tour de France content for now. Of course, after this season of Pro Team, we will be ending the series, and after this, we've got the Open Tour and the Euro Tour. Depending on how we're getting on in the Pro Cycling rankings, I might not do those. We might just end it with this Tour de France, but that's a decision I'll make a little bit later on. But no, we've done very well so far, and another solid day today. Not the most exciting, albeit, but another solid day. And it's a marathon rather than a sprint. That's always what you've got to remember. And I'll see you guys again on Tuesday for the next episodes. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye for now.